Hey, it's Coach Ben from Online Soccer Skills, and in today's video I want to talk about an article that I read. I think this happened maybe 1 or 2 months ago, and it's talking about banning heading at the youth level. And I want to talk about this because this is an issue that I've seen with lots of youth players, not just with girls but with boys as well. And the first thing I want to address is concussions are extremely serious, and it's not just in soccer and football, and there's a lot of other sports that's happening. But the first thing we want to address is, that's a big problem that's happening, and it's happening more frequently than people think. And I think there's a few ways to solve this, and this is why I want to talk about this video. And it's scientifically proven that girls or women who play soccer, their neck muscles are not as developed as men are, which allows men to head the ball with a lot more force. And a lot of times when girls go up for headers, they're not doing it with proper technique. And it's not just girls, it's boys as well. And this is a massive problem that I see that is really plaguing the game of soccer, especially at the youth level. At the YMCA level, especially here in Texas, players are not even allowed to head the ball. And if you think about it, players shouldn't have to head the ball, between the ages of, I would say, 5 and 9 years old. The ball should be on the ground, and they shouldn't have to go up and win headers all the time. That's really not part of the game at that age. But the thing is, between the ages of 10 and 14, heading is a big part of the game. You have to think about it, on goal kicks, free kicks, corners, when someone plays a cross in, if you're defending out of the air, you have to be able to learn how to head the ball. And if you watch professional soccer, that's something that happens all the time. You have to be good at heading the ball. And if you don't understand the proper technique, then you're always going to be scared to do it. And this is the thing that I see so much with players out there is, when the ball's in the air, they're scared to head it because, number one, they haven't been properly trained on how to head the ball, so they have zero confidence. And, when I look at all these concussions that are happening, I feel that a lot of it is due to players going into that situation scared. And a lot of times, if you watch girls or boys go up for headers, they're going up very soft, and they're not really heading the ball, they're letting the ball hit them. And those are two completely different things. And a lot of players just are not aggressive out of the air. And if you're not aggressive when you head the ball, then it's always going to hurt. So the technique is something that you have to have down. Otherwise, you're always going to be scared. And it's not just about that, it's also about establishing your presence on the field. When two players go up for the same ball, if one player is not establishing that they're going to win the ball, then that's a lot of times that's when players collide head to head, because one player hasn't established their position, and players are not physical enough right before they head the ball, so everyone's kind of going for the same ball, and that's a huge problem. And my big thing with all of this is I don't think heading should be banned, because I know it's a really critical and important part of the game that players have to be able to do. And that's like changing a rule that's been in place for hundreds of years. And I don't agree with it, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. But I do feel like players at the youth level, they should understand the basics behind doing it, because when they ban this rule, it's going to make players even more scared when they get to the level where they're allowed to head it. Because if they haven't learned how to do it, if they think it's a bad thing to do, then they're going to be very fearful when the ball's in the air. And that's something that can destroy the game. And I'm all for these leagues trying to take all the precautions and make sure that players are not going to have concussions anymore. But at the same time, they have to be able to allow players to learn how to do things the proper way. And you hear me say that all the time, like, you have to be able to learn how to do things. It's not just heading, it's every fundamental. And this is a huge problem with soccer right now. It's very easy for anyone to be a coach. And a lot of players, unfortunately, are learning the wrong fundamentals early on, which is not going to allow them to develop the way they should when they're older. So I want to talk about this in this video, and I want to hear what your ideas are. If you want to comment below, tell me what you think. I'm pretty strong on this because, you know, I train a lot of players who are within that age group where they need to learn how to head the ball. And if they don't know how to do it at that young age, then when they get older, they're going to be so scared anytime the ball's in the air. So I am very for teaching players the fundamentals early on. That way when they're older, it's something that's simple and it's easy and they understand. And I really do feel like, you know, when they ban heading, it's really going to impact a lot of youth players mentally when they get to the level where they're allowed to head it, because it's going to be something that they've never done before, and it's something that's going to change the game. So I just want to make this quick video, talk about that, and, you know, leave your comment below, tell me what you think. And we're going to be making lots of videos that are kind of similar to this, more like a vlog style video. And so drop your comment below, let me know what you think. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, definitely hit the subscribe button below. That way you can stay up there with all of our newest videos. And if there's any other topics that you want me to talk about, drop us a comment below, and I would love to talk about it. All right, I'll talk to you soon.